This week on Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, we are giving our first impressions on the new Double Fine game Kiln, featuring a returning guest at Emily.Created's Emily. Let's dive into this episode of Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects. Play the intro. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, the weekly podcast where we like to talk about the fun and games that helped us grow up, as well as the fun and games that we're playing in our day-to-day lives. My name is Samson, aka Samson XP, and joined to me, as always, is the looks like he's wearing something interesting there, Sir Dr. J.M. Jordan. Hello, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm fiddling with my lights here. I was trying to pick a kiln color, a pottery color, maybe a double fine color, but I don't know that I really have anything. So green for Xbox it is. But you mentioned my outfit here, so let me just show off for a second.
Oh, yes. Come over to YouTube. Jordan has a special outfit on. He's wearing an apron. You'll find out why in a second. But it's got Bob's Burger, or Bob from Bob's Burger. It's in a gentleman down south and a bad boy in the mouth. Or
That's
above
right.
the mouth.
A bad boy in the mouth. No. Above. Careful.
Yes, that is right. And like I said, I'm also wearing an apron. Why? Because as potters do, they wear aprons to protect themselves from dirt and stuff. Because today we are giving our Kiln first impressions with a returning special guest, Emily. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be talking about Kiln again.
Yeah. For those who don't know who you are, Emily, do you want to give us a little intro about why pottery is related to you, perhaps?
Yeah, for sure. I am a potter, or as some people like to say, ceramic artist, and I make pottery.
That's right.
I think that's about it.
Okay. Well, you don't just make pottery; you make really nice pottery. If you don't know Emily's work, definitely head over to Instagram at Emily.Created. She does very, very cute and inspired takes on like matcha bowls, teacups, ceramic wares and such, and they're pretty popular around these parts. And actually, this is the second time we've had Emily on the show, because the first time we brought Emily on was actually a couple months ago, last year. Or was it earlier this year or last year?
It must have been earlier this year. Yeah.
I think it was earlier this year. Yeah.
Not that long ago. Talking about Kiln, Double Fine's new party brawler game, a 4v4 party brawler. And that was a couple months ago. We got Emily on to do the little intro first impressions, and we brought Emily back on because Kiln has released on April 23rd, 2026, and we all got a copy and decided to play it.
And how did we get our copies?
Great point, Jordan. Thank you to Double Fine, to folks at Double Fine, #gifted by Double Fine, for providing myself, Jordan, and Emily a copy of Kiln. We are very thankful. So that's kind of our disclosure. Like, we were gifted a copy.
#game provided by Double Fine. Even though I don't think technically we're required to say that, but anyways.
No, transparency. What's the word?
Yeah.
Ethics? I
Yes.
forget.
Yep.
However, Emily, you got a little something extra. Now, I know you're not on video and we don't have the technology for that yet, but you got a bit of a care package from Kiln.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Double Fine actually reached out to me before the release of their game Kiln, and they sent me a package with that actually included a game code as well. So within that package, which I opened today, I wasn't expecting too much, but honestly, it was hefty. Like
Okay.
I thought maybe there was pottery in it. So when I first opened it, there was actually an apron. And then also a towel that came with it, all of it that says Kiln on it, and had like the beautiful like bright lettering of the logo. And then also the thing that was the heaviest part was actually an at-home pottery kit, which is super cool. Yeah. So I haven't looked at like how it works and if it's like an actual piece of pottery that needs to be fired. So
Oh,
I
cool.
haven't
Okay.
looked into it because I had to go to work, but yeah, and it came with stickers too, and the box itself was really fun, and
Nice.
yeah, I was really happy to receive that. It was just unexpected. So thank
Yeah,
you so much for Double Find for gifting that to me. I'm really, really excited to use everything that was in the package.
that's so awesome. And I know, like I said, we don't have the video of it or any footage of it yet, but while you may be listening to this now, you might be able to go to Emily's Instagram page, emily.created, and see a video of it soon. I know Emily's working on that. So if you want to see instead of just hear what was in the package, head over to instagram.com/@emily.created. And make sure you follow over there as well so you know what Emily's up to and her cool pottery art adventures, I guess.
Thanks, Samson.
No problem. Well, Kiln came out, like I said, April 23rd, 2026. Today's date, as of recording, is April 28th. So we had about a week, just under a weekend to play Kiln. And I think we're ready to kind of give our first impressions. It's been a busy weekend, so I didn't have too long to play Kiln, but I'd love to give my impressions about a little bit about like what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I think I want to do more of, or where I want to see the game go in the future. A rose, thorn, and bud, if you will. And I think Jordan and Emily would also like to do the same. So without further ado, before I pass it off to Emily to give her very, very, very first impressions, which I will explain in a second, let me tell you guys a little bit about Kiln if you are watching this episode and you don't even know what we're talking about. So Kiln is an online multiplayer pottery party brawler from Double Fine. In this game, you go 4v4 and you create pottery. You play as the pots, scooping up water, bringing it to your enemy's kiln, and dousing it with the water. And it is a competitive PvP game, player versus player game. And the goal, or the winner, is the first one to douse their opponent's kiln. Depending on the pot size, shape, and what else? Size, shape, not material, design, all that. That actually affects what your pot can do. So the big pots can hold more water, but are a little slower. The small pots hold less water, but are faster and can fit through tight spaces. That's kind of the pitch of Kiln. Do you think I got most of that right, Jordan?
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it in a little bit, but it's once you get in there, it's surprising at like, I'm not quite sure if it's exactly size based in terms of water and health and things like that. But that's the premise.
All right. Diving into our first impressions. Now, I'm going to go in order of. Actually, no, I'm not going to go in order. I made an order. But first, I want to call up Emily to the stage. What are your first impressions of Kiln? How much have you played of it? And what do you think so far?
I will be honest, I also had a busy weekend and week as well, so I didn't have too much time to play, but I also had some hiccups with the gaming, the Steam code. So that took me a bit of time to figure things out, but eventually I was able to play today, and I think it's so cute. Just I forgot what they called it, but the little sprite
The sprites,
in the
the souls,
yeah. The soul, I just loved creating the little soul that belong. I don't know. It just I like to call my little snot ball. But it's so cute.
That's hilarious.
And I also had so much fun building my pottery. I realized I could make things that I can't physically make in real life. Which I later found out that is not very good, because if I tried to make like a pedestal ball type of thing, so like a very narrow foot with like a very wide low rim, and the walls are very, very wide, and I was so slow when I was playing the game. Like I looked beautiful, but people kept beating me up because I could not run away fast enough.
Okay, yeah.
So despite my beautiful character, I found some flaws in my making.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I was not able to play like any successful games because I just kept dying. I couldn't even make it to other people's kiln because I was so slow.
It is interesting. Like to be fair, I don't think I won my first game either. I believe was spoilers for my impressions. But yeah, it's depending on the shape of your pot. You have different speeds and what you can do. So that's funny that you went for like a wide jug as your first pot compared to something else.
And I think
I also sorry.
No, I was just going to say the game starts you off with the medium blob of clay, which is kind of I don't know. It feels like a good starting point, but then once you get that small blob of clay that you can use, I found it to be a lot better because then you can really experience speed. And then it's like, okay, now I'm scooting and I'm rolling around and I can sneak through all these little hallways and these little holes and stuff in the map that you might not have even seen before because you just couldn't fit through them. So it definitely it eases you into it, I think. But I don't necessarily think that it just in limiting you to that medium size, I don't think it necessarily starts you out in the quickest way, I'll say.
I know you only spent a couple minutes literally with Kiln, Emily. But other than the movement in your game, what else did you find about the pot making process? What
I thought it was really fun how you're able to control, because I played on my Xbox controller. I was able to really finesse the shape. If anything, it was very sensitive to what kind of shape I was able to make, which was really nice. I didn't have to fight anything. I had a vision and I was able to kind of like fiddle around and like be able to make what I wanted to do.
Very cool. Very cool. Jordan, I want to bring it to you. You have definitely, between the three of us, I think, played the most amount of Kiln. What are your first impressions of Kiln?
Yeah. I mean, just to start things off, I think I played. So you start off and, like you gain levels as you play more. I think at this point I have 3 separate accounts where I'm roughly level 5. And that's because the code from Double Fine was on PlayStation for me. I did get Game Pass just the other week, so I got Kiln for free on Game Pass on the PC. And then I also started it up with my daughter at one point. So across all 3 instances, I probably played a little more on my own, like 2 to 3 hours on each one, but then also a good probably 2 hours across a couple sessions with my daughter. So it's funny because I've seen the beginning, the first 5 levels so many times, but I'm not actually like that far into the game on any of them. But largely because I'm playing matches, but just low level over and over again. But I mean, hey, I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't like the game. I think it really shines in its creativity. It really shines in just how Double Fine this game is. I think it was last year I played some of Psychonauts 2 for the first time. And playing Psychonauts really it had been a while since I played a Double Fine game other than Costume Quest, because I love Costume Quest and I play that game almost every couple of years, either the first or the second. And jumping into Psychonauts 2 really kind of reminded me how Double Fine has this style and this flavor to their games that I think you can see sort of a lineage through their games. I actually talked about sort of a similar thing last week when we talked about our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in gaming. And I talked about Spyro and how Insomniac has sort of a similar trajectory through Spyro and into Ratchet and Clank, and then eventually the Spider-Man games and everything like that. Double Fine just has their stamp on it. And so bringing it back to Kiln, from the second you jump into Kiln and you start off by creating your little blob, your little spirit, your little snot ball, as Emily called it, you really see that Double Fine charm behind it. The second you rotate that little spirit, you see its little butt. You just, you know instantly this is a Double Fine game. And then I think the first little blob they start you on, I don't remember if it does or doesn't have a butt, but if it doesn't, the second one does. And then you go through all of them, and turns out all of them, except for I think 2 of them, have the little butt. And yes, I spent probably way longer looking at this screen than most people. But it's because as soon as I jumped in, I was just so struck by how much charm it has. And that's Double Fine for you. As I mentioned, recently got Game Pass. At this point, I can't wait to jump into Keeper, because I did miss out on it when it launched last year, I think, because it was Xbox and Game Pass exclusive. But I'm definitely going to go back and play through that, because I love Double Fine. So my impressions with the game, overall positive. I do have some critiques, some thoughts that we'll get into. But ultimately, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Cool. Yeah, I am about just under 2 hours into this game. I got to about that level 5, level 6 on just playing matches. And my first impressions kind of echo yours, Jordan. It's like there's so much charm. The animations, the world building, the quality of like how everything looks reminds me of like a Pixar movie where everything's just got little details to it, and it's got texture to it and weight, which a lot of it's hard to do in video games because it's all digital, right? So I thought that was my first impression, was like, oh, this is like a physical place I can put my hand in and like put my hand on the what do you call it, Emily? The wheel thing.
It's called a wheel.
A wheel, okay.
A pottery wheel, yeah.
A pottery wheel. I feel like I put my hand on there because like the sounds, and yeah, it's like, oh, this looks physical. Like,
yeah.
So that was my first impression. I played a couple games of multiplayer. Well, I think the game's only multiplayer, but I played a couple games as well with a friend of the show, Cameron from the Friendship Design.
Oh, that's right.
We'll come back around to that.
I forgot about that.
And yeah, it's like the first game, I remember thinking like, ooh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know like where I'm supposed to go. Like I'm getting hit by something, but I don't know what. But you know, we've played these multiplayer games before, Jordan. You know, the first couple of games, you don't know what's going on. Yeah. You're just getting a feel
That's
for
right. Remember High Guard.
Feel for it. Yeah. Yeah. You're just getting a feel for the sticks.
Yeah.
But then by I don't remember, but a couple of games in, I'm like, okay, I have a strategy.
Yeah.
And I can start to see patterns from people. I can start to see like the team comps. And part of that is like comes from previous experience of team-based games. But like I can see there is like a competitive edge to it, which I thought was really interesting. And that's about as far as I got in. I also had a busy weekend, couldn't play as many nights as I wanted to, but it's definitely a game that I think has a place on my Steam library. I think I'll keep it around because you never know. We'll come back around to it.
Cool.
So it sounds like overall between the three of us, like this game has a really positive first impression. Does this sound about right?
Yeah, I honestly can't wait to play after this because as you said, I played like 5 minutes before this, and I'm excited to make more pottery in the game.
Nice.
Even though I spent the whole day today making pottery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like the folks that go to work, come home, and then just do a video game version of their work.
Yeah.
Like I think I remember hearing about that. Like people are CEOs in EVE Online as well as CEOs in real life. So
that's funny.
It's good. It's kind of funny how that works.
Yeah.
Now, I want to dive into a little game within our podcast called Rose, Thorn, and Bud, where a rose is something we really liked. Roses are nice. Or tulip season. I went to a tulip festival this weekend. Also very nice. So maybe we'll call it a tulip.
Okay.
Thorn. Well, I guess tulips don't have thorns, but whatever. Okay. A tulip, which is something we liked, and a thorn, something that is a little prick on our side, something we didn't really like, and then a bud, so something that we're hoping that for the game in the future. I'm gonna start with Jordan. Do you want to go first? I feel like you have the most experience, so you have some.
I can go first. I'm gonna start with, if it's okay, let's start with the rose. Start with the most positive. Now, the problem here is I have a large suspicion we're all gonna basically have the same rose.
Okay.
For me, it's got to be the art direction behind the game, and that obviously ties directly into the creation. Like Emily said, like she's able to do things with the pottery creation that she's not able to do in real life, which, like, hey, let's be honest, that's probably good. I would hope that it's easier in game than it is in real life. But the fact that they give you this setting, and, you know, it very much is sort of, air quotes, you know, as much as it can be real. You go into this little area where it's a design studio, and there's all these little tables. And as you get in, you can actually see other people that you're matchmaking with also at the tables doing their creations or making their creations. And you walk up to the table and you start, you know, crafting your ceramic, whether it be a, you know, a jug, a pot, a cup, a mug, a plate,
a vessel,
a vessel, something that goes in a hole in your body to describe some things that I may have made. And the creation ability it gives you is really fantastic. And it's so there are some subtle details that I really appreciate. Things like when you get to the end and you are actually applying the glazes to your pot, not only do they not just call it paint, they actually call it a glaze, which I find it feels very pottery to me. Emily might be able to say if that's actually true or not. But when you dip it in, you can actually see that it like kind of splashes if you go quickly, and even if you go slowly, it doesn't all just color your pot in one go. It almost like flows onto it and leaves. It's never quite perfect, which is very interesting to me, because I think for most people that's probably a very casual experience with pottery. If you've ever been to one of these, you know, pottery nights, or you know, wine and pottery, or one of these places that lets you paint your own mug and then they fire it for you and everything. You know, that's always the experience. Maybe it's my amateur speaking, but it's never quite as perfect as you necessarily want it to be. And I think for me, at least, that's a part of the beauty of the game. It still has that little distinct style, and it's easy but difficult enough that you can't quite, at least yet, you can't quite make it perfect. And I think that ties back into one of our favorite sayings of the human imperfection element when it comes to making your pots. So I really think the art and the creation of the game is kind of probably the biggest area where it shines. And that's
very cool.
Yeah,
it was a very nice rose. Also, I changed my mind. Let's all do our roses first.
Okay.
Because we're on a positive.
Sorry, what did you not want me to do my rose first?
No, rose. No, that's
okay.
good. That's good. It's good.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm just doing, you know, we make the show as we go. It's jazz.
Right on.
It's pottery.
It's jazz.
You know, we make it as we go.
Yeah.
I'll do my rose next, and then I'll throw it over to you, Emily. My rose comes a little bit more from the gameplay side.
Oh, okay.
One thing that I was really surprised with was actually, like, as you're making the pot and changing the shape, there's a little menu on the right that tells you, like, oh, this pot or this piece of pottery would be considered a vessel or a jug or a cup or whatever. At the same time, it's also giving you, like, the stats of, like, how much health to water it can hold and have. As well, it will tell you what the super move of it is. So I don't know the exact, like, math to it, because I discovered this pretty naturally, where I was just building a pot, and then it said, it, like, the little icon popped up. It's like, boom, your special is the popcorn. And then I was like, oh, it's interesting. And then I'll, like, fumble away with the pot a little bit. I'll make it a tube, and then it's like, boom, your special is not a sword. And I thought that, oh, that's a really cool way of encouraging people like me, players like me, to try different shapes and whatever, and, like, get weird and wacky with it, and just seeing, like, what kind of what kind of kit, what kind of weapon I would like to use. I ended up with this. I made 2 pots. I forget what the first one looks like, but I think it's like a vase, but it turned into, like, the Morning Star, which is like the little mace, and I thought that was really fun. And then once I got the small clay, I made, like, just a straight tube, like, it's like a little straw. And it was the dynamite that can jump in and explode. So
I like the dynamite a lot.
Yeah, so I really liked doing that and just playing around with the clay, literally playing around with the clay and finding, like, what new abilities and attacks I can use in the game. So that's my rows.
Yeah, that's a system that I really like as well. Because when you first jump in and you're making your pot, these things are changing kind of on the fly, right? It's every time you, if you're using controller, you're holding on PlayStation the X button, and once you release it, it kind of sets your mold, and then that ability pops up. And the second you hold it down and change it again, and then release it, it changes the ability and everything.
Right. I didn't even play with the molds yet.
Yeah, and that's something that I really like too, because it really does, like you say, encourage a lot of exploration with what you're building, and obviously encourages you to get back in there and make new pots, so you can try out some of those abilities and kind of experiment. So yeah, it's a good one.
Emily, what is your rows so far with the game?
As a pottery lover, I think what I really appreciated about the game is all the little pottery terms and kind of like fun pottery things within the game that usually I guess like both of you probably didn't notice as much, but the character in the tutorial, their name's Celadon, which do you know what Celadon is?
It's a city in Pokemon.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's so funny because Celadon is a glaze. It's a very distinct glaze that you probably have
Cool.
seen before. It's a jade, kind of greenish, almost bluish color, and it's a beautiful, beautiful glaze from Asia, and a lot of ancient pottery is made with Celadon, and it's one of my favorite glazes. I love Celadon, and I just loved how the tutorial was introduced by someone named Celadon, and I thought that was a really lovely touch. And it just made me smile seeing all the little things in the pottery studio and just like the naming and I don't know, it just whoever made um these little special touches or whoever's idea was to make this game definitely does pottery.
Right.
For sure.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, another pottery thing that I noticed that I learned from you, Emily, actually, is in the game when you want to heal yourself, get more health back.
Oh yeah.
You pick up the little gold.
Oh yeah.
You can explain it. What is it?
Kintsugi. It's basically like a method of repairing pottery, but instead of repairing it by like making the cracks invisible, but it's actually bringing light to the cracks with gold. And it's very, very beautiful. That was another thing that I thought of too, but I guess this kind of goes into my thorn a little bit because we didn't see any gold. Well, I didn't.
All right, let's get into it then. Let's get into the thorns. Emily, you can start us off. What is your thorn with the game?
I kind of have two.
Okay.
If that's okay. Yeah. The first one is the gold. You reminded me of the gold because once you pick up the gold, because I died so many times, I was beaten up because I was so big and slow. And I'm not sure if it was because I couldn't see very well because everything was happening so fast, but I didn't see any gold repairs on my piece. But I guess that would also be hard to animate. I'm not sure. But my second is that I think I was playing on my laptop that was too old. So I think that's my second thorn is that my laptop's not that old, only a couple years. And I think it just couldn't support the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not anything to do with the game, but I guess it's just too new. I don't know how it works, but yeah. It's a gaming laptop too, so I thought it would be okay, but apparently not.
I'll dive into some of the settings with you. Maybe it's just the classic turn everything to low and play at a lower resolution. But yeah, I can see this game being kind of demanding. Like it looks cartoony and simple. But it's got lots of detail and lots of things going on with it. It's like a multiplayer game, so there's like 8 people doing things at the same time, and that can be hard for some computers for sure. But the good thing about games, Emily, is that as like a newer game, all newer games suffer from this, but like as it ages, the devs and I don't know if Double Fine does this, but they'll do more and more updates to optimize it for more and more machines.
Mhm.
So hopefully in like a later patch or a later driver in your graphics card, we're getting real computer nerdy here. Update your drivers and your BIOS. Hopefully with those updates, the game will run a little better for you. Jordan, what's your Thorn so far with the game?
All right, so look, I'm gonna throw a complete wrench in your plan here.
Oh.
I need my Thorn to be the last thing we do. Is that
Very
okay?
well.
Okay.
I'll take the Thorn.
Take the Thorn.
Stick.
Take the Thorn for now.
So my Thorn, Samson's Thorn. I was doing a quick session, a quick kiln with friend of the show, Cameron from the French Tip Design. And we both had the game on Steam, and we wanted to party up, of course. We want to play together.
Yes.
However, the partying up system is very cumbersome on PC. First, we thought, oh, yeah, let's just invite each other off of our Steam friends list. But no, we had to add each other on the Xbox app on PC, which is like a whole separate system.
Yep.
So once we added each other and tried to invite each other, it still didn't work. It was kind of buggy.
Okay.
Not sure if that was just launch day things because lots of people were playing and the system was getting confused.
Right.
But that made it kind of annoying, especially for a multiplayer game where the whole idea is you party up with your friends and you run some games together, you hop into Kiln together. That kind of irked me, but I was like, come on, this is a multiplayer game. Shouldn't adding a friend to your party to play together be one of the easiest things to do? Like, we want to put as many walls down for that. So
right.
Not much more to go into that. I hope they fix the bugs around that. I hope they add in the ability to just invite directly through Steam. I don't know why you can't do that. I mean, I think I know why. It's because they want to keep everybody in their Xbox ecosystem. Yeah, Microsoft. But hopefully they open up, they put down a little bit of the garden walls for that to make it a little easier to squad up in this multiplayer game. Right?
Yeah, fair.
Jordan, you told me to put your Thorn last.
Yes.
Now it's your turn. What is your Thorn?
No. I mean, my Thorn has to go after all the buds too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sorry. Well, would you like me to segue into buds?
Yeah. Can you give us your bud then?
Okay. Yes. I would love to talk about my bud. So bud, I think you mentioned at the top something that, how did you phrase it? You said something that could be better, something like that.
Oh, a bud. Yeah. Something that you want for the game, something that could be better, something that maybe a feature that you want to add.
Okay. So this one I actually find to be maybe one of the most interesting aspects of the game. But it's something that I do think isn't like utilized at all in the game, really. And I would love to see them do. And that's the fact that the movement and the abilities, sort of the overall mechanics of the game work so well. I would love to see them do something like give us a 2 to 3 hour platforming single player experience of this.
Okay.
Let me create my pot. Let me create more than one pot and go through a world, go through a level. And if I'm a large pot, maybe I can break stuff in the level. If I'm a small pot, maybe I can find alternate paths through the level. If I'm a medium pot, I don't know, something else. I'm not making the game here. But then also they've got all these different abilities, and it really does seem like there are so many abilities you can use. There is a great opportunity for how that interacts with maybe some, enemies throughout the levels, or even just, again, coming back to the platforming, use these abilities to affect the environment in ways that I can then traverse things differently and things like that. So my bud ultimately comes down to the mechanics, I think, are really solid, but I want to see more than, like obviously they made their game and the game is what they wanted it to be, I'm sure, but I want to see them take it a step further and give us a single player pottery creation game, right? I think that would be so cool. And a part of that actually came from the time that I did spend in game playing with my daughter. Like, she saw the little icon on my PlayStation. She's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, this is probably a game you could play And I knew, she's not very competitive, nor does she understand what's really going on and those kind of things. So she didn't really enjoy the 4v4. And to, the point of what you've both kind of said at this point, it really is overwhelming, and it is hard to keep track of your character and what's going on a lot of the time. And sometimes you're too slow and you get beat up. And sometimes you're too fast, but you don't have enough health and you get beat up and things like that. So what she wound up doing was just making a pot and then running around in the little hub area. And she'd just hopping and bopping and rolling, and she'd go over to the little arena area and just beat up the two guys that stand there and, don't fight back. And then she'd go make a new pot, and then she'd do it over again. And she probably spent more time in that hub area just making a pot and then going and messing around and then making a new pot and going and messing around. And that's where I really was like, I saw she was enjoying the creation and how that gave her those abilities, like you talked about, Samson. And she'd go back and make something different just to try out a different ability. And I'm like, how cool would it be if the game, although I do think the game is largely centered around that, but what if we had the world centered around that as well and some dedicated content to it? I think that could be really cool. So that's my bud. I would love to see this game grow into something like that. I would love to see them implement some form of single player. Do I think that's ever going to happen? Not really. I think they've talked about the fact that this game started back in like 2017 or something. They had a game jam, and this came out of that. And they always wanted to make it, but they just wound up shelving it and working on other projects. So I do think, given that's the case, this is the vision of what they wanted. But again, I would just love to see them take it that step further and kind of really flesh out what is the world of Kiln, right? They've got characters in it in the hub world too. They could take that a step further. So anyways, that's that is my bud.
I like it. I think it's a really, really great evolution of what Kiln could be. Like I just thinking in other examples in the industry, Splatoon, it was
totally.
also super similar, where it's a multiplayer game, but over time they started to introduce these single player like roguelite modes, story modes, and now the next Splatoon is supposed to be just a fully single player game. So don't expect the unexpected. No, I was gonna say. What's it saying? Anyways,
expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. It might happen. Is what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough.
Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
That's a really great idea though, and that's actually really cool that she just likes making stuff and hopping around and experimenting. I think that is kind of lost in some games these days. Yeah. Emily, what is your bud for the game so far? Even with your short time with it,
I don't know if I actually have a bud because I really like the game, but I really would want to play the game that Jordan has hypothetically
that I've pitched.
Just the idea that you've pitched, it just sounds like a cozy game that I would play, because I'm all for the cozy games. Because as much as I want to vent my anger and smash pots and destroy things, I think that something that I would play realistically on like a tiring night after working just like a lot during the week, I would want to play a cozy game.
Well, on that note, my bud is a bud adjacent to your guys' buds.
Okay, bud.
I'm just asking for more modes, more competitive modes in my mind. When I was thinking, like, I like the 4v4 push, like push each other's,
destroy your base.
Yeah, destroy your base kind of mode. I like the simplicity in that, honestly. And Emily, it's overwhelming at first. Once you get a couple games in, you kind of figure out the strategy. You kind of know when to pull back, when to push forward. So it does come pretty naturally and pretty quick, which I was surprised by.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more modes like, what if there's like a racing mode? Like still competitive. What if there's a racing mode? What if there was like a capture the flag mode? What if there was and the Overwatch parallels keep coming, like a horde mode.
I knew you were going here.
where you're defending from like bots of pots, I guess. PvE mode. And I get, this is the vision, and there's some beauty in that, especially with like the trend now with I know friend swap is the wrong word, but these like this is the vision of the game. This is the one mode, and this is and we're just gonna add to that. I do see the beauty in that, but like you said, Jordan, like the world is so big already and so expansive. Like I want to see them do more with even just the characters and all that. So kind of cool. It's
That's awesome.
Definitely a lot of potential here for this game that has been cooking in the kiln for since 2017, almost 10 years. That's great. All right, you told me to send it back to you for the final Thorn, Jordan. Why do you have to end us on a low note?
Okay,
so it's not low.
and here's the thing, it will be a nice ending because my Thorn is a thorn for some, but for me, I actually really love it and I really appreciate it. And it kind of ties into everything that we've talked about. And that is the fact that Kiln feels like a game out of the PS3 360 generation. It feels like the kind of game that I would have gotten on PlayStation Plus back when you never knew month to month, were they going to give us 2 free games? Or were they going to give us 9 free games? Because they used to do that. When PlayStation Plus first released, it was the Wild West. You never knew what you were going to get month to month. There was a guarantee of free games, but it was like whoever and whatever they could make a deal with, you were getting it. A lot of it was great. A lot of it was crap. A lot of it was filler. And a lot of it was okay. And I think this game really strikes that chord of, it reminds me a lot of Gotham City Imposters, a game by WB where you didn't play as Batman and you didn't play as the Joker. You played as a gang of people pretending to be Batman or a gang of clown thugs of Jokers. And similar kind of thing, actually. I think it was 5v5. And it was a first-person shooter style thing, competitive, whatever. But it harkens back to that style of game. It harkens back to a Critter Crunch, which was a great game, a game with quality, a fun little puzzle game, but a game that most people probably spent 1 to 2 hours with, and then we're like, cool, that was fun. And maybe they pop in every now and then, but they're not coming back to it all the time. And I really feel like Kiln reminds me of that kind of game, which again, for me, that's like my golden era of gaming. That's when I was gaming the most. That's when I was playing every release that came out. That's when I was downloading every single free game on PlayStation Plus, and at the very least, giving them a try. And that's why I remember games like Gotham City Imposters and Critter Crunch, games that a lot of people maybe remember the name, but have never actually played. So the reason this is a thorn is because it really worries me for Double Fine. This game, as we've all talked about, has so much quality, so much heart, and so much life behind it. But I worry because back in the PS3 360 era, you didn't hear about games going offline. You didn't hear about, like, could anyone listening or anyone watching tell me when Gotham City Imposters shut down? No, because that wasn't a story back then. Eventually, the player base died out and they probably shut off the servers. Maybe they're still going. I have no idea. But the point is, nowadays, when a game fails, like Highguard, like Concord, and those are probably the most high-profile instances of this, but any game with an online component will eventually shut down. And nowadays, that's a story. That's a news article of, well, guess what? They're taking down another game because not enough people are playing it. And it makes me worried for Double Fine in the fact that this is a multiplayer-only game. Again, coming back to kind of what you both talked about a little bit with having other modes and being able to play sort of a cozy version of this. I think that's why a part of me wants to see Double Fine take this a step further, is because I don't want this game to just shut down and you can't do anything in it. I would hope that maybe they have built something in where if the game does shut down, if it's not as successful as Microsoft or Xbox wants or needs it to be, I would hope that they basically say, okay, we're flipping the switch. You now have everything unlocked. And although matchmaking is gone, you can still create. That would be, again, if the game shuts down, that would be, in my world, the dream scenario. Let people still experience this game, even if it's technically offline only. Taking it a step further, hey, if they did local matchmaking, that would be sick. like split screen or something. You could play against your friends in the same room. That would be amazing. Or even private lobbies. Anyways, that's getting into another thing entirely. But the point is, my Thorn is really, this game strikes me as a game out of the 360 PS3 era. And for me, again, that's awesome. I love that. I wish I still had the time and the energy to jump into every single PlayStation Plus release that drops. But nowadays, I hit that download button and I don't come back to 95% of them, right? So that's kind of, I think that's a nice ending point, honestly, because for me, it's a positive. For a lot of people out there, I think it's probably a positive. And for Double Fine, I hope it's a positive. And I just hope that they see the potential that I think I see, and hopefully we all see in the world of Kiln, if you will. So
I love that. It was very beautifully put. I echo everything you
said. I thought about this a lot.
I really hope this game continues down farther line. It's not, like the hot headline now is like so and so game is being taken offline, is being delisted. But yeah, this game like has a lot of charm, like hitting lots of different just folks and demographics, like your daughter Emily, who's like not a competitive gamer like us. Like that's a really big achievement. So I hope Kiln has a long and healthy life ahead of it. As we close out this episode, I want to ask one question to each of us. And I'll start with Emily. Are you going to keep playing this game?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm definitely going to try playing more, and I'm very excited to explore the glazes because I did not get there yet.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah. Jordan, what about you? Do you plan on revisiting Kiln in the coming days and weeks and months?
I definitely will go back to it. For me personally, I want to get past that level 5 barrier. Because again, I've done that probably 3 times now. And I think you unlock the large blob of clay at level 6. So I really just want to get there and see what monstrosity I can make. And what kind of damage I can do in a level. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go back and hopefully keep going back for a while at least. So
yeah, I think, like I said earlier in the episode, for myself, Kiln does have a spot on my hard drive, on my SSD. It's a game that I can see myself playing to cool off at the end of a day, just to get some achievements done and going. Many episodes ago, Jordan, we talked about like the comfort shooter, and Kiln's not a shooter, but I feel like it fills that little niche where it's just challenging enough, but it's also competitive enough. And yeah, there's so much presentation, and even just making pots is so fun. It's so totally satisfying. So great first impressions all around for Kiln from the three of us. As we close out this episode, Emily, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, emily.created, and I am also doing a market if you're local to Vancouver on May 24th.
Are you able to say where and when?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually searching up the name of where I'm doing it. Sorry.
I'll bring it back to you once you find it.
Okay.
Jordan, where can people find you if they want to keep up with you?
You can find me all over the internet at Sir Dr. JM. That's at Sir DRJM, and especially over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sir Dr. JM, where you might find me playing some Kiln.
On stream, you say? Very, very cool. For myself, my name is Samson, aka Samson XP. You can find me on Instagram. I'm usually playing Pokemon games and whatever game and sending memes and all that. You can also find me on Blue Sky, where I blue sky sometimes. But most importantly, you can find me on YouTube on Grow Up Level Up, this channel you're listening to. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all the socials at Grow Up Level Up. And hey, leave a comment below if you are planning on checking out Kiln. I think that, one thing we didn't even touch on is that although we were all hashtag gifted by Double Fine for this game is only $25 Canadian.
Oh yeah.
So like $20 USD. Like this is a game that you can buy like a full party off with your friends, and it'll still cost less than whatever a AAA game costs these days. So
it's true.
So where was I going? yeah, find me on Kiln as well. At Grow Up Level Up on all the socials if you want to keep up with episodes like this one. Next week, I think we're going to revisit the world of Pokemon. I feel like we don't talk about this Pokemon thing enough, Jordan.
Right.
So make sure you stay subscribed for that, whether it's on YouTube or on podcasts around the globe. Emily, where can people find you again if they want to see you in person, see your pottery in person, more importantly?
So I needed to check if the name of the place was plural or not. So it's actually called Container Brewing. So singular, Container Brewing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's for a market called Summer's Coming. So come and celebrate if you want to wish for summer, because that's what I'm doing.
If summer is coming, yeah. And you're vending there, right? Are you selling pottery?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm selling pottery there, yes.
Very cool. Yeah. Container Brewing, located here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Come on by and check out some of Emily's pottery. Maybe grab a beer. I like Container Brewing. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
You should
brewery.
come by.
I'll see you there. For everyone else, thank you again for joining us on Grow Up Level Up tonight, this morning, wherever you're listening. And make sure you stay subscribed. Jordan, what are your wise words to close out the show?
My wise words today go out to the company Christie, makers of such fine goods as Oreo and Chips Ahoy. And my wise words to them after seeing brown sugar bubble tea Oreos are just stop. Just stop.